The Queen City provides the backdrop for tonight's tussle in the East. We've passed the halfway point of the group stage and points are becoming a premium. Will it be Charlotte or Richmond who claim them in this crucial Jägermeister Cup match? Here's a look at the standings in the East Group, brought to you by Pepsi. Of course, Charlotte could go top with a win today, assuming that Greenville dropped points. They would, of course, need some goal difference as well to help them. Richmond can just go straight above Charlotte and really keep themselves alive in this fight for that top spot. Of course, only the top through into the next stage. Here's a look at your player to watch for the home team in the Charlotte Independence, brought to you by Great Clips. Luis Alvarez has just been dominating in front of goal recently. Here is his game-winning goal against the Red Wolves to come back from 2 goals down, whether he's setting them up or scoring them himself. He really is driving this team forward. He's got a hold of the reins. Really has been a mixed bag of late for the Charlotte Independents. We just showed you that Red Wolves game. We're going to break down this Richmond Kickers win in just a moment, but outside of that, those are their only 2 of 3 wins they've had in the last 10 games in all competitions. That loss to the Greenville Triumph left a bad taste in their mouth, said Mike Jeffries, and they really want to bounce back with a win against the Richmond Kickers. Here is this last match when these guys were duking it out just at the beginning of June. Of course, who else would to score but Juan Obregon Jr. set up by Alvarez, but that doesn't tell the story of this match. Richmond actually outshot Charlotte 15-4, had higher expected goals, and outpossessed them. They're trying to set the record straight this time around. A man who might be able to do just that in Neil Vinyals did not play when these two teams met just a few weeks ago. He's a guy who just is able to do so much on the offensive end, whether it's from set pieces or through the run of play, just like this. Mike Jeffries recognizes the threat, so they're going to have to watch for him, look for the space between the lines. He's going to propel this team forward. A huge 3 points on the line as we start to close down the group stage of the Jägermeister Cup. On pickleball night, who will have the final serve as Charlotte take on Richmond? This match presented to you by Novant Health.
Always reaching higher, pushing further, achieving remarkable. At Novant Health, we never stop. Because whether it's sports performance at the highest level or the playground level, we're driven to help you excel at what drives you. Not just keeping you healthy for the game, but also healthy for life. Novant Health. Expect remarkable.
When it comes to delivering high-quality, affordable health care, relationships matter. And after 90 years, Blue Cross North Carolina is proud of the relationships we've built with you. We're 5,000 neighbors, friends, and family committed to improving the health and well-being of everyone across this state. We're here for you, all of you.
Are you ready? Ready for more games you love? Ready for more players, new rivals? Ready for more fans, new friends, and endless celebrations? This is Carolina's new women's pro soccer team, the Carolina Ascent, featuring the world's most exciting players connected to the global game, uniting the Carolinas. We are the Carolina Ascent, built for the Carolinas.
Jägermeister is proud to be the presenting sponsor of the inaugural USL Jägermeister Cup. Take a shot to glory and celebrate the magic of this exciting new tournament all year long. Please drink responsibly. Here's a look at the starting 11. First for the Charlotte Independents, brought to you by Capelli Sport. A few names you're not going to see tonight. Bashir Njai, Anton Sorensen, Noah Pilato, Hugh Roberts. I mean, there's a little bit of rotation here. Also injuries that have plagued this team, but still an incredibly strong lineup that features some guys who've been on the bench recently with Oberton, Sis. We'll see just how much the balance affects them. For Richmond, most of the same team that we've kind of been used to seeing them go with. Tony Pineda, though, is a name that we haven't seen a lot of. He makes his second career start. Bashua remains kind of as that lead attacker, that back line. Pretty usual. We're starting to see here Garnett back in defense. Incredible at just such a young age to be getting as many minutes as he is. And we highlighted him earlier. Neil Vinyals back into midfield. We'll see just how much he can do from that position. Well, we are just about ready to get started here from American Legion Memorial Stadium. These two teams that have quite a lot of history. They first faced off with one another back in the USL, what was kind of the precursor to the USL Championship back in 2015. And they have been playing games highly contested ever since. The two oldest teams in USL League One. The Charlotte Independents and the Richmond Kickers kicking off for the 20th time. All we await is the referee's whistle. There it is, and we are underway. 20 total meetings spread across 2 leagues, and now another competition here in the USL Jägermeister Cup. We highlighted some of it in the run-up to this game, just how much it means. A win could move Charlotte to the top of the group. Here's a look at our keys to the game, brought to you by Black Tie Transportation. For Charlotte, start steady and then surge in the second half. For Richmond, stay composed around the half. These are teams that have really got different dynamics as far as when they allow goals and when they score them. And for Charlotte in particular, the starts of games have not been great for them. They have no goals scored in the first 15 minutes of games this season, and have only allowed games in the cup in the first 15 minutes of games and in the final 15 minutes of games. So they just need to hold on to things. Don't let the game get away from them early, and then really start in the second half to tighten that screw and go out and get some goals. Richmond around the other side do have success finishing and starting halves, but they also can be vulnerable giving up goals. Here they are, trying to start early, taken off by Nick Spielman. They were hunting there for Tony Pineda. It was just a few weeks ago that Charlotte found themselves 2-0 down inside the opening 10 minutes to the Chattanooga Red Wolves. They would come back in that game and score 4, you heard me right, 4 unanswered goals to win 4-2. Here's Oberton trying to feed it through for Obregon Jr. For Richmond, a lot at stake as well. They could move ahead of Charlotte. Of course, if they lose, there's going to be a 4-point gap between them and the team in second, so that really starts to put their hopes of qualifying for the next round a little bit further out of reach. They're trying to improve their record against Charlotte recently. It's just their second win ever at this stadium. They have just 1 win in their previous 9. Sis is fouled. We talked to you and we showed you those lineups about the injuries for specifically Charlotte. As you can see, there are many more. Chris Cole and Guillermo Franca out for the Kickers. But for Charlotte, it has been this way all year. Your injury report brought to you by Novant Health. In fact, when I was talking to Mike Jeffries in the lead up to this one, he said about that Chattanooga game, he said that's probably the healthiest game they've had all season, and he said unfortunately might be the healthiest they have for the rest of the year. already after bringing some guys back in that game. Had a few of them go out against Greenville. And it has just been one thing after another for them. Obregon Jr. over the top, searching for Johnson. Alvarez. Cleared it out for our opening corner kick of the evening. Right in front of the Mecklenburg reserves.
It's the first Chick-fil-A corner kick for your Charlotte Independence.
Set pieces, particularly corner kicks, have not been the strongest of suits. As Fabrice Nga will go over to take this corner kick, brought to you by Chick-fil-A. They have the second least number of corner kicks of any team in the USL Jägermeister Cup. Nga, the Cameroonian, does have a game-winning assist on the season so far. His left-footed in-swinger is short. Johnson. Nga in a tussle, loses out to Pineda. Welcome in all the Richmond fans watching at the home team grill. Gathered around their television sets. I want to thank you for choosing to be with us tonight. There's James Vaughn. Now Zaka Moran. Dakota Barnathan. Talk to you about those opening 15 minutes of games for Charlotte. They don't have any goals in the starting 15. They have 4 goals allowed in the first 15 minutes between League One and Cup games. That is the most of any team. 31% of all the goals they've conceded this year have been in the first 15 minutes. Real talking point for Mike Jeffries. It's just been a bit of their composure. Overton goes in for Johnson, tries to return it for the Frenchman, just behind him. Overton on his left! The veteran strikes again! One of the most experienced players in this league. He's been everywhere, seen everything, and he adds another goal to his repertoire. Just the 1-2 on the edge of the box. Gives him enough space, and he doesn't need much time. Rifles it in. A stinging shot from the Frenchman's left boot. Well, that is their first goal inside the opening 15 minutes. Goal for Gabriel Oberton, brought to you by Botero Carts, in a very, very important one. Time has been weathering the storm early, even here at home. Now we'll see just how much it will change this first half. I've seen very little from the Richmond kickers. There's Moran. Already taking the wind down of this one a little bit as Austin Pack will step up. A man who's been involved in 4 penalty kick shootouts this season. He's 3-1. guy who last season was all-league first team. It's a warm one today in the Queen City. Temperatures in the low 90s. Can expect some hydration breaks throughout. But it is beautiful, very windy as well. See if that has any effect on today's proceedings. Here's Finch. Novant Health is the proud official healthcare provider of the Charlotte Independents with same and next day sick visits. Novant Health provides care when and where you need it. Schedule online at novanthealth.org. Here's Vaughn. You can tell just how much of a switch has flipped here. Immediately, possession flipping over in the league. Richmond have the second most passes of any team, over 4,500. As well as the second highest possession percentage at just over 53%. What's remarkable is if you look at last season, they were also at 53%, 53.19 this year, 53.35 last year. In by Pineda. Obregon Jr., who's drifted out wide, going one-on-one. On his right, just taken off of him at the last. It'll go off of his leg. You can see what he was trying to do there. Just shifted onto his left foot. Couldn't quite do it. Broke away, did the right thing, driving at goal. This replay brought to you by AccuVision LASIK. You can see there just at the end that poke takes it off of him last. Pineda chasing Nga. Pepsi Cola is the official soft drink of the Charlotte Independents. Enjoy an ice cold Pepsi while watching the Jacks. Pepsi, born in the Carolinas. Only 3 wins in their last 10 games in all competitions for the Charlotte Independents. A bit of a dry spell for them. This is after they started with 3 wins, 2 draws, and just 1 loss. Their opening 6 League One and Cup matches, so they had a really strong start, fizzled out a little bit. For Richmond, they're in a similar situation. 2 wins in their last 5, none in their last 3. Top. Clay Dimmick. Been a dominant force defensively, as he has been for quite some time. 5 seasons, over 110 appearances. Guy who's been in the area for a while, played his college ball at Belmont Abbey to the Division II in North Carolina. Actually got his first ever pro goal against Richmond last season in that 2-1 victory. Charlotte were so unlucky not to have him through their playoff run. Missed that with injury. What they could have done in that final had they had him. Over the top for Obregon Jr. Marshaled effectively by Ani. Was shot by Johnson well over. Really good defending there. It's Belmar, excuse me. Trying to just control and fire away. Simon Fitch played all but 7 minutes so far this season. Decent move by Richmond kickers trying to go quickly. We spoke with Darren Sawatsky in the lead up to this one, saying it's been hit and miss recently. Really, we're proud of that win against Knoxville. 1-1-2 in the month of June. He said they do feel like they're on the right path, though, getting some guys back from injury. Most notably Emiliano Terzaghi, who we might see later on today. It was a great shot when we were showing you in pregame the standings of he and Mike Jeffries. Darren Sawatsky was rather emphatically showing a card to Mike Jeffries, quite clearly recounting some story. Absolutely class coaches in this league. It is full of them. Here's the big thing that Sawatsky parroted is they are going to attack them tonight. So he didn't feel like they did that enough in the game against Northern Colorado. So they want to get after them. Here's Pineda. First time cross by Fitch. Headed out for a throw. We'll see if they try and turn this one into a long throw here. It'll be Nathan Awney. Just starting to find his way back into the team after injury. A deep lob, backwards towards back and easy. The Charlotte Independence is proud to share their home field with the Carolina Ascent, the new Division I women's professional soccer team starting this August. For more information on this exciting new Super League and the team, visit CarolinaAscent.com. 20th meeting between these two teams. 9 wins for Charlotte, just 4 for Richmond. This is the 10th game played on this field that's exactly split the series 10 and 10. 10 at City Stadium, 10 here at American Legion. Fitch looking for an option short. It's not been a good place for Richmond to play. They've only won here once. It was in 2022, 2-1 victory. What's funny though is that Charlotte have not been any better at home in League One. They have not won since joining this league. They are winless with 2 draws and 1 loss. They were dominant back in the USL Championship. Never lost to the Richmond Kickers. 5 wins, 1 draw. So they're really looking to build their home form up here. Richmond trying to defy the odds and turn history against itself. See if Fitch will take this one short. He will. Vaughn. Now Vignoles. He was given the space to cross that one. Mike Jeffries, that was the one thing he highlighted with Vignoles, is the space between the lines. Just not giving him time to operate and pick out passes like that. is the biggest part of managing this game. Take a look down at the man who's been at the helm almost uninterrupted since this team was founded back in 2014. He's very proud of that comeback against Chattanooga on this field. It really gave them a boost coming from behind, something that they haven't done a whole lot. Said it was just allowing chances early against Greenville. So he kind of played into pressure, he felt, which was really frustrating to them. Kind of went right into what the Triumph wanted them to do. You add on to that, more players out with injury. She's made it hard to put together a real run of form. Moran. Good work by Vignoles. Whipped in by Vaughn. Richmond really growing into this one. Edge of the box. Low shot. Almost found the cutting run of Bashua. But really to watch out for tonight, Adrian Billhart is really able to get offense generated from those wide areas. Swansky said the big part is just putting him in the right places to be able to get goals. Here's a look at that little swipe out by Vaughn, just catching him in the lower calf. Omar Sis, who's rebounding from injury. Having an all-league second team performance last season. Puts it over the top. All the way into the arms of Pablo Jara. God's not able to hold on to possession. Off for Vignoles. On his right, low shot, arrows it in. He missed out last game. He was not gonna miss out this time. The man with the captain's armband levels it for Richmond. Great look here, feeding right to the edge of the box, just driving his laces through it. We will see if there was a little touch out front. You can see Pack there immediately appealing. It'll make no difference though. Vignoles levels it at one. Just what was needed for Richmond. His 16th goal with the club. He was an all-league first-team member in 2023. 66 chances created. Second best in the entirety of the league. A guy who played college ball just down the road, right across the border in South Carolina for Winthrop University, the Eagles. Playing in the Big South. Guy from Barcelona, grew up in that academy. So Coach Szymanski saying he just has the mind for it. He's got the IQ. Bashua trying to go back to back. Away by Nga. Vignoles pickpocketed by Belmar. Joel Johnson. How will they respond? Charlotte trying to win here at home against Richmond for the first time since September 9th, 2018. It was that time when these two teams were in USL together, and then when they were not for 3 seasons. Johnson, away by Ani. So glad to have these two teams reunited in League One. Richmond went off while Charlotte stayed in the championship. Fitch out wide, finds Tony Pineda. Vignoles. Bill Hart now. No problem for Pack. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of North Carolina is the official health insurance provider of the Charlotte Independents. Blue Cross NC makes health insurance easy. Discover employer, individual, family, Medicare, and Medicaid plans from Blue Cross NC. Better care starts here. Obregon Jr. Good work by Garnett. Obregon Jr. Alvarez on his right. He'll go that way. Belmar howling for it all the way across the face of goal. Good build-up play. To you by AccuVision LASIK. You can see Alvarez was just hoping that darting run would be made, but it didn't happen. Luis Alvarez, just 21 years of age. Coach Mike Jeffries saying last year, you know, they were really trying to get him up to speed, develop him, but he's their creative engine this year. Praised him for his ability to both finish and create, which we have seen time and time again. 4 goals and 3 assists so far this season. And he really does show on the stat sheet. He's making his 12th start of the year against League One teams. Last year, no league starts. Quite clearly took his lessons from 2023. Overton. Johnson just flicks it out of play for a deep throw. They can apply the pressure here. Going down line, Dakota Barnathan played at VCU with his fellow wingback on the other side of the field, Simon Fitch. They both played over 60 appearances. Just look at the overhead. Luis Alvarez just trying to keep it in play. Told you this is the 20th meeting between these two teams. That means that these are some of the most often opponents that these two respective teams faced. Charlotte has only played Charleston more than Richmond. They've played Charleston Battery 22 times. They've also played the NCFC 19, so now this game will take Richmond ahead of that. And for Richmond, they've only played Charleston and Penn FC more. If you look at this little tussle here, check in the back, and then the foot brings down Bashua. But for Richmond, one of the teams they've played the most, but one of the ones they've had the least success with. This is their worst win percentage against any team they've played more than 10 games against. I think just 4 of the previous 19 meetings. Notice how Charlotte's just dropping off here. Scooped in over the head of Bashua. And they'll watch it roll away into the shadows and out of play for a goal kick. Competition is heating up this summer on CBS. Sacramento Republic FC look for revenge against a red-hot Oakland Roots on Sunday, July 21st at 4 p.m. Eastern, and on August 3rd at 4 p.m. surging Detroit City host newcomer Rhode Island for the first time. The USL Summer of Soccer continues on the CBS network. Funnily enough, expected goals right now, 0.11 for Charlotte and 0.07 for Richmond. It just shows you both of those shots, low percentage, but still finding their ways in. Right now, Richmond ahead in possession as well, 56-43. Belmar trying to spin away from Pineda. Gets around him once, does not the second. No foul, says the referee. Here's Spielman. Omar Sis. Oberton given lots of time. Johnson sizes it up. Off the side of Barnathan. The referee is going to stop play for a hydration break. It is a scorcher out there tonight in the Queen City. So they will go to the sidelines and get a much-deserved hydration break as we cross the 30-minute mark. Darren Sawatsky and the Richmond Kickers coming from behind here to tie things up. As we are 1/3 of the way through here. He's got to be pleased about the way they have responded. Mike Jeffries found himself in a position he wasn't normally in. Their side going a goal up, as we will now show you. They are used to conceding in these opening 15 and not scoring, but that's exactly what they did. Driving inside on the 1-2, Oberton on his left. Just knuckleballs that one, no spin on it. Watch how clean this is with the laces. Arrows it in. Speaking of an arrow, Neil Vinyals draws this one back and lets it loose. Gets the feed in from Bill Hart, and it just takes a couple of weird bounces right there. I've wondered if maybe it clipped off the legs of a defender, or perhaps the legs were just blocking the view, but you can see those two bounces, one out front and the one right as it gets to his arms. Pack will want that one back, but Neil Vinyals, after not appearing in the game at the beginning of the month in June, scores to tie this one up at 1. So really quick turnaround. These guys last played on June 8th. You would think that would be the quickest turnaround these two teams have ever had. That's actually not true. 21 days since the last time they played them. Their fastest was last season, 15 days. They played week 1 and week 3 of league play, just 15 days between turnarounds. So in 20 meetings now, despite playing twice in the month of June, this is not the most recent they have ever faced. There's Omar Sis getting some attention, coming back from injury. Man who scored the USL League One goal of the year on this field against in-state rival NCFC. He's been in one of the all-league teams for 2 years running. First team back in 2022, second team in 23. And his absence really has been emblematic. Just not able to field all the players that they want when they want. So getting him back to full fitness is going to be crucial. There are so many players that they are missing right now. This is the team that went to the final last year. They're so very dominant at home. Have not been quite as friendly to them this time around. So it'll be Clay Dimmick to get us back underway. Garnett, just 17 years of age. Playing at center back, has over 1,000 minutes. He's played a full 98 times. He just does not look his age. That is a compliment. Coach Darren Sawatsky saying that he really is what they want the club to be, a part of that model of bringing up academy players, developing them, and then moving them on to bigger and better places, whether that be the college game or the pro game. Says if you look at him, his statistics are on par with other center backs in this league, despite being sometimes half their age. Of course, for those of you joining late, Jägermeister Cup action between Charlotte and Richmond. It's been a bouncing back and forth season between the league and the cup. As they flip it over to the far side. Dimmick, Obregon Jr. tried to feed it through the outside. Garnett was dragged back briefly. Almost able to connect with Pineda. Just talking about that bouncing back and forth. Different coaches have different thoughts on it. For Charlotte, they have faced it just about as bad as anyone else. Their last 2 games against the Red Wolves in Greenville was the first time all season long playing consecutive games in the same competition. Every game besides the last 2 has been one to the other. They would play a game in the league and then go to the Open Cup and then go to the Jägermeister Cup and then back to the league and back to the Open Cup, and it has just been this hodgepodge of fixtures that Coach Mike Jeffrey says it's just been hard to build momentum in, especially with all the injuries you're adding on top of that. It's an opinion that varies depending on who you ask. It's certainly been a lot of fun for us to watch. For those of you who maybe not as familiar, it is a World Cup style group stage competition. 3 groups, East, Central, and West, of which the 2 teams you're watching tonight are naturally a part of the East. The winner of each group, the team that is top, will go through to the next stage of the competition. As Nga onto his left, battling with Ani. Oberton slicing and dicing. Drives in across, headed cleanly in. A goal and an assist for the Frenchman. And adding yet another one on, Charlotte retake the lead. Beautifully done. Once again, just give it enough time, and he goes between the lines, Johnson, here. What a beautifully timed run. Just ghosting off the back shoulder. You can see how much he means to him. Right over to the Mecklenburg reserves. Embraced by Klein Dimmick. It's one of those beautiful, clean headers. There is nothing quite as beautiful in this beautiful game as a well-executed header. Joel Johnson, who played a lot of minutes as a wingback last season, moving forward, gets his 3rd of the year. Spokane, Northern Colorado, and now Richmond. We've got a 3-goal first half, and that segues us very nicely as that goal was brought to you by Botero Carts. Into what the 4th and final space of this competition goes to. So the top 3 group winners, and then the 4th spot is awarded to the team who scores the most goals. Not goal difference, goals scored. So conceivably, you could win every game 5-4 and go through in this competition as that goal scoring wild card. Tony Pineda trying to get in for Finch. He'll keep it in play. Beautiful cutback blocked out front by Dimmick. Pineda attempted to chip it to himself. And the referee spots something in the box. Great work by Fitch to keep this one alive. Dimmick using the body, and it almost came off for Pineda. And Ga stepping in at just the right moment. Great Clips has over 4,400 salons throughout the United States and Canada, making it the world's largest salon brand. Great Clips salons provide value-priced, high-quality hair care for men, women, and children. Great Clips is the official hair salon of the Charlotte Independents. To check in online or find a salon near you, visit greatclips.com or download the free app. There's Ga, a guy who's had a lot of stops in his career, most notably with Raja Casablanca in the Moroccan First Division. That's where he won the Super Cup for the African Confederation. He's also a league champion back in 2020. Had a depth of experience at the highest level in Africa, playing in the Champions League there 23 times. Here's Tony Pineda. Pineda now trying to roll it backwards, does get it off eventually. Gilhard chasing down Johnson. Vaughn and now Barnathan. Gilhard cannons it off the backside. The nearest defender. Now for Fitch, drives it across, and there is Dimmick. They had numbers forward, so he had to get that just right. Once again, Fitch providing a lot offensively. Another Chick-fil-A corner kick. First for Richmond. Left-footed in-swinger of Adrian Gilhard. To the back stick. Away by Sis. Already 2 goal contributions for Alberton as he'll draw the foul. He came on as a substitute in that game against the Red Wolves. Is only credited with 1 assist, but really should have 2 for his hard work there. Takes him up to 6 assists. Total on the season. Missed a portion of last season with injury as well. The 35-year-old who so recently crossed over 450 games in his career has taken him to locations as disparate as Charlotte and Istanbul, Manchester and Bordeaux. So storied for him. Winning the Premier League with Manchester United, nearly 60 appearances with Newcastle United. Made his pro debut September 30th, 2006. Will call back for a foul. Our opening yellow card of the game.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention please. The referee has issued a Blue Cross Blue Shield of North Carolina yellow card to
Charlotte Independent storefront is live. Stock up for our next match on scarves, hats, shirts, and more. To shop the new online storefront, visit charlotteindependence.com. .shopify.com. Yellow card issued out, presented to you by 11 Lakes. We're closing down here in the final few minutes. You can expect a decent amount of added time. Remember, we've had 3 goals and a stoppage for hydration. Goals already between two teams who clean sheets have not been a staple of their game. Charlotte have only kept 4 all season, 2 in league play, 1 in the cup, and 1 in the US Open Cup. Only 2 clean sheets all year long for Richmond, 1 in the Open Cup against Christos FC, and 1 against Greenville in the League Cup, which they actually lost on penalty kicks. So the twist to this one for those of you watching the Jägermeister Cup for the first time: if tonight's match ends in a draw, we will go to penalty shootout. Moran. Vignal spins away from Johnson. Moran. Barnathan. 5 minutes of stoppage time brought to you by Accuvision LASIK. Vignal's trying to go for it again and does! Twice now from outside the box, Nil Vignals leveling for Richmond. Just given time and space. And the Spaniard, this one was on a line into that bottom corner. Just given too much time. Space opens up for him. And once again, Nil Vignals ties us up. Well, what a first half this has been. 4 goals. Twice Charlotte have led. Twice Richmond have answered. Pretty pleased with myself having picked out Nil Vignals as our player to watch. We really expected it, and we weren't the only ones. Mike Jeffries, head coach, Charlotte Independent, said we've got to watch for him. Managing him was going to be one of the biggest aspects towards getting victory. And so far, they just have not done that. And what's going to be more frustrating with them is the way in which he's scored. He's just been given time outside the 18. The first one, a little bit there of that awkward bounce for Pack, an opportunity he will want back. But that second one, just nobody stepping to him. And what's funny too is if you watch the replay, I believe it's Ryan JJ who is just marking his defender, and he actually follows his defender away from the shot. We'll see it right here. So you're going to watch in the middle of this box right here. You can see James Vaughn. He actually pulls him away. JJ, or rather that's Carlton Belmar, pulls him away, and JJ's on the other side, and it just opens up. Those attackers get out of Vignals' way, and it just parts the sea for him. Trying to get back in for Pineda, but can't get off the shoulder of Belmar. Well, this has been a game dominated by the big names. Goal and an assist for Gabriel Oberton, and 2 goals for Nil Vignals. His story is a great one, coming over from Barcelona Academy, playing at the mid-major division with Winthrop. Going into Tormenta. Switching over to Richmond. Just shows you that there's no one path into this league. It can be guys coming down from the upper leagues. It can be long-time professionals wrapping up their careers. It can be young academy guys. It can be college standouts. Vinyals is just another piece in this large League One patchwork. A great night for soccer here in the Queen City. For those of them watching and those of you Richmond fans who've been witness to a great first half watching from the home team grill, I'll give a special shout out to the Richmond Ivy, who closed out their home season last game from yesterday. Obregon Jr. on his left, a little bit on an island, dispossessed with ease. The Richmond Ivy, the women's team, 5,800 fans at their season finale. They averaged almost 5,000, 4,800 people they averaged. Richmond is a true soccer city. Alvarez, Oberton, was he taken out? Yes, says the referee. We might have one last opportunity before Olvin Olivia blows for halftime. You can see here, just a little foot in from behind from Moran, not much. The Argentinian is called for the foul. Is there one last twist to the tail here in half number one? Five-man wall. Fabrice Ngaz left, or Obregon Jr.'s right. Obregon Jr. up, over, and behind. And that will do it for the first half. Well, a great game we have been witness to so far. A tale of the big names. Gabriel Oberton, a goal and an assist to start us out. And his great work has been answered in kind by Nil Vinyals. 2 goals for the Spaniard, locks us at 2. Every single time Charlotte have gotten their noses out in front in this USL Jägermeister Cup game, Richmond have answered right back. We are locked up at 2 going into the halftime break. This match presented to you by Novant Health.
Always reaching higher, pushing further, achieving remarkable. At Novant Health, we never stop. Because whether it's sports performance at the highest level or the playground level, we're driven to help you excel at what drives you. Not just keeping you healthy for the game, but also healthy for life. Novant Health. Expect remarkable.
Well, folks, it's only 8 a.m. and it's going to be another hot one. Today's high is 85 degrees with lows ranging in the upper 50s. Tomorrow's more of the same, plus some light wind coming in from the northeast. Coming up at 8:30, Paul's got an exclusive
Babe,
heartwarming
it's
story.
8 a.m.
Fried chicken, better with Pepsi.
When it comes to delivering high quality, affordable health care, relationships matter. And after 90 years, Blue Cross North Carolina is proud of the relationships we've built with you. We're 5,000 neighbors, friends, and family committed to improving the health and well-being of everyone across this state. We're here for you, all of you.
A first half full of goals, 2-2. We're tied up here in this match presented by Novant Health, the Charlotte Independents, and the Richmond Kickers. Well, let's take a look back at the round 4 action of the Jägermeister Cup, brought to you by our very own, the pride of Omaha, Donnie Barnes. Donnie, take it away.
Well, let's look back on round 4 of the USL Jägermeister Cup, and we begin in Knoxville. 1 Knox early in the second half against Lexington. Rivalry game, and they grabbed the lead in the 50th minute. Jalen Chrysler powering home that goal. Again, the short routine worked well. Johnson with the cross in, and Chrysler able to split the defense. It's been an issue for Lexington this year, and it haunted them again as they fell behind in the 50th minute. And then in the 74th, 1 Knox would put it away. It looked like this ball was headed out of play, but kept in brilliantly and slammed in by Francis Ross, who arrived at exactly the right moment. 2-0, 1 Knox over Lexington SC. On to Richmond then in City Stadium, where Charlotte Independents defeated Richmond Kickers with a goal in first half stoppage time. Tapped in by Juan Obregon, set up beautifully by his teammates. A really well-worked goal. You see Obregon toward the beginning of it as he got that ball moving to the top of the area and then was on the receiving end as well. And Charlotte would hold on despite some good chances for Richmond and some pressure in the second half. Adrian Billhart splitting the defense with a line-breaking pass there. It looked like it was going to spin across the line. Brilliant clearance off the line. Second ball was over the net, and it would end 1-0 to Charlotte. In Chattanooga, forward Madison looking to stay hot, and they would indeed, as they scored the game's lone goal in the 43rd minute. Juan Galindrez, what a goal. Whether you want to call it a bicycle kick, a scissor kick, something in between, it was spectacular. One of the goals of the season in USL, whether in league or in cup play, and Galindrez put forward Madison ahead just before the break. Chattanooga would also come close in the second half. They had chances as well. Couple chances here, that went into the side netting, but it just wouldn't go for Chattanooga. Ricky Ruiz here also firing on goal. Second ball from Javon Marsh, fired across the face. It stayed out, and forward Madison held on for the 1-0 win. The crazy game of the round happened in Northern Colorado. Bruno Rendon would score the game's opening goal. All these goals happened in the second half. It was 0-0 at halftime. Clayton Torr leveled in the 61st minute for Fuego. That was just the start of the chaos. 4 minutes later, Jackson Diedrich made it 2-1 in favor of Northern Colorado. 5 minutes after that, in the 70th, it would be Ethan Horde rising to nod that home. It was 3-1. Looked like Northern Colorado would cruise from there, right? Not so, because back came Central Valley in the 80th minute. Robert Coronado converting a penalty just past the diving keeper, and that was 3-2 with 10 minutes left. And just 3 minutes after that, it was 3-3. Ball served in from the left side. Raul Mendiola able to roll it in. All even at 3, but just a minute after that, Northern Colorado grabbed the lead again for good. From close range, Danny Robles finished 4-3, hailstorm extinguishing Fuego. On to South Georgia then. Another great game, this one between Tormenta and Greenville. We saw 2 goals in the first 13 minutes here. In the 5th, it was Leo Castro, the veteran. Aren't those Greenville kits sharp, too? 1-0 in favor of Greenville. In the 13th, Tormenta were level. Nice cutback that took a kind deflection from Tormenta's standpoint, and Augustine Wayner was on hand to make it 1-1. It would stay 1-1 until late in this game. Looked like perhaps we were headed for penalties, but then Liam McKinnon showed up, as he always does. The Liam McKinnon show continuing here in 2024. In the 80th, he put them ahead 2-1. And in the 89th, with Tormenta pushing for the equalizer, they got caught on the counter, and Liam McKinnon made them pay again. 3-1, Greenville defeating Tormenta. On Thursday, the 13th, Omaha and Spokane. This was an opening goal, or I should say an equalizer for Omaha. Take it back. That was the first goal, 1-0 in favor of the Owls as Misael Rodriguez continued his hot start to the year. Former Owl Luis Heel would level it up in the 33rd as he powered it past former teammate Rashid Nuhu. It was 1-1. In the 63rd, though, Union Omaha grabbed the lead for good. From the corner kick, Pedro Dolabella continuing his terrific campaign. Then in the 82nd, Lagos Kunga all by himself, dribbling through the right side, beating the goalkeeper from that angle. And then Steven Dos Santos would add another in stoppage time. And the Owls, a convincing 4-1 victory over Spokane to get them back in contention in Group 2.
New flavors. The same traditions. Be the guest of honor. Add more flavor to your parties. El Jimador. Spiked bebidas.
The best nights start with Jägermeister. Made with 56 botanicals. Always served ice cold.
It will take a miracle to come back from this. Heartbreaking end to the season. But what's this?
For the moments when anticipation
Clock's counting down. 5 seconds. 3, 2.
becomes celebration. Jägermeister. Meister the moment.
Quick toward Bill Hart. Adrian Bill Hart. Richmond are level in stoppage time.
Oh, it's volleyed in. Galindres. Wow. Unbelievable. Welcome back to American Legion Memorial Stadium. Tonight's match is brought to you by one of our presenting sponsors, Capelli Sports. A beautiful evening for soccer in North Carolina. It has been a 2-2 draw between the two teams so far, and this is going to be a league that is going to be covered heavily throughout in this USL Summer of Soccer, and it all starts out with the team that's on display tonight, the Richmond Kickers, on July 3rd. You can watch it on CBS Sports Network. Two teams with the highest attendances and also the most league wins at home in league history in the regular season. Those are two great teams, and then a ton of coverage of the USL Championship. Watch out for Oakland Roots in Sac Republic on CBS. Of course, two teams up in NorCal. You want to watch out for them. Detroit City and Rhode Island, another game on CBS. Two teams, one with not a lot of history and one with a lot of history in these lower leagues. Sac Republic and Pittsburgh on ESPN2. Pittsburgh and Hartford, wherever you watch sports, you can watch USL this summer. It's all out there for you as this league continues to take the country by storm, whether it be League One or the championship. If you want to watch it, it is all out there for you. Make sure to catch it CBS, CBS Sports Network, and ESPN2 2024, your USL Summer of Soccer. Well, folks, more to come for you right here. We'll bring it to you from American Legion when we return.
Always reaching higher, pushing further, achieving remarkable. At Novant Health, we never stop. Because whether it's sports performance at the highest level or the playground level, we're driven to help you excel at what drives you. Not just keeping you healthy for the game, but also healthy for life. Novant Health. Expect remarkable.
When it comes to delivering high quality, affordable health care, relationships matter. And after 90 years, Blue Cross North Carolina is proud of the relationships we've built with you. We're 5,000 neighbors, friends, and family committed to improving the health and well-being of everyone across this state. We're here for you, all of you.
Well, folks, it's only 8 a.m. and it's going to be another hot one. Today's high is 85 degrees with lows ranging in the upper 50s. Tomorrow's more of the same, plus some light wind coming in from the northeast. Coming up at 8:30, Paul's got an exclusive
Babe,
heartwarming
it's
story
8 a.m.
Fried chicken, better with Pepsi.
Jägermeister is proud to be the presenting sponsor of the inaugural USL Jägermeister Cup. Take a shot at glory and celebrate the magic of this exciting new tournament all year long. Please drink responsibly. Now let's take a deep dive into your first half highlights. Well, it was an encapsulating first 45. We got underway very early. Charlotte usually not scoring early. They're usually conceding early, but they got the start they wanted here with a rifled shot knuckling in by the veteran Frenchman, just driving his laces through it, and this is clean, folks. Arrowing it past Pablo Jara. From that point on, Richmond grew into the game. They started to possess a little bit more and finally got what they were looking through. Vinyals. It takes a little bit of an awkward bounce here. There's one right in the middle of the box and one right in front of Austin Pack. And the guy that we're so used to making these sorts of saves just lets this one through. He'll want that one back, but in the end, Charlotte did see another one go through here. It was Oberton once again slicing and dicing, cutting it onto his right, and look how quickly he gets this ball away. Johnson ghosting in, nods it through, smooth as you like, and Charlotte are riding high at this point, thinking we faced a little bit of adversity, we've got the goals though, we're going to settle in, but then their disappointment builds up to this goal allowed in stoppage time. Vinyals just given too much time and space twice now from outside the 18. He's allowed to take a shot with relative ease, and just placement, credit to him, beautifully done into the bottom corner. Both goals very well executed by the Spaniard. So we're back out to American Legion Memorial Stadium. And Emiliano Terzaghi has entered play. You want to talk about a veteran? This man is the veteran in League One. The Argentinian, the top scorer all time in League One, a legend in every sense of the word, enters for Richmond. They are going all out for the win as the referee blows for the start of the second half. We talked with Coach Darren Sawatsky of Richmond about Terzaghi's status. He has built up minutes game on game over the last three. He had 37 against Northern Colorado, which is the most for him in 2024. He said he is getting to the point where he can be back into the starting lineup, but he said he's not quite there just yet. So they were going to use this game and probably others in the near future. Just keep building up those minutes. He said for every day that you spend injured, it takes 2 for you to get back up to full strength. And he has been out for long portions of the season, both last year and this. This really does shift here in this game. Flipped up. Was searching for Vaughn. Kept in play. Just overcooked the cross. Vignoles. Billhart. Tangled up in blue. A stinging shot is just over. Did Pat get a fingertip to it? They're claiming the referee shows no sympathy. They are coming out firing here. In Fitch, that's really close. Impossible to tell whether or not he got a finger to it. Well, typically this has been not a great period for Richmond. They've allowed 5 goals in the opening 15 minutes of League One games this season in the second half, which is the most of any team. They're trying to fire their way back out in front, or rather take the lead for the first time today. It's the thing, they've got a lot of weapons, whether it be Billhart, Vignoles, or Terzaghi. Maxi Schinfeld also entered. We flashed that up for you here to start the second half. Moran, the one that comes off there. Alvarez backwards. All the soccer action you want and all the flexibility you need. The 2024 Flex Plan includes 10 tickets to Charlotte Independence games to use however you want. Visit charlotteindependence.com for more details. Johnson is fouled. Taken quickly. In for Belmar. Battling with Tony Pineda. Another man out of the Big South, just like Nil Vignoles, spent his time at High Point University playing for the Panthers and went off to join West Virginia. Went to the Elite Eight with them and returned to the Panthers for his final year. He had a start in that game against Northern Colorado. It was the first of his career. He really is building his way into the starting team. He's made 6 appearances, now 7 for Richmond, every single one since the end of May. Coach Sawatsky just saying that they really like the expectations from Pineda. He's got this humility that they find comes out of Zach Haynes' players at High Point. 98% of draftees end up not actually signing for the team that they're drafted by. They end up in MLS Next Pro or just drop out entirely. He said, so sometimes Division I players just think they're above League One. He said Zach Haynes, and specifically Tony Pineda, came into this with the humility to come in and learn. I think he's bigger than the game. It's paying dividends for him. Terzaghi. Didn't play any of the last 8 games due to injury. Still managed to rattle off 10 goals at the age of 33. And who's the 3-time MVP. First League One player to score 10 or more goals in 4 consecutive seasons. They may find it hard-pressed to do it this year, but it would not be a safe bet to go against him. Trying to look into the channels, nearly falls for Billhart. For those of you who are joining us, you are in the perfect place. This is a game that has already given us so many goals, but guess what? If we get none in the second half, we will go to a penalty shootout. Those are the rules of the USL Jägermeister Cup. So stick with us throughout. No matter what happens here, there will be more action. Maxi Schinfeld made Sports Center top 10 with an incredible bicycle kick against forward Madison earlier in the season. He did not start against Northern Colorado. That game and this game are the only League One games, or that was the only League One game without a start. Guy who's just been in the 11 so very often, the Chilean. Booted long and away. And out for a throw. Who's ready for a holly jolly Christmas in July? Come support the Jacks as they battle Tormenta FC at American Legion Memorial Stadium on Saturday, July 20th at 7 p.m. Tickets start as low as $12 and are available at charlotteindependence.com. The Charlotte Independence is powered by eTix. Dimmick. Overton. Now for Dimmick. Trying to scoop one in. Garnett, good defensive header. Belmar. Alvarez, his influence has been muted tonight. He's playing a little bit more centrally in the game against Chattanooga where he had so much success. He was really hugging one of the sidelines. Nga drives in across. Belmar just doesn't connect right. Really great cross here by Nga. And you can see Belmar just gets a little push there, you can see, from Maxi Schinfeld, and that's probably just enough to get him off balance. Sometimes a little bit of pressure. Those are fine margins on those headers. Spielman pursued by Terzaghi. Stakes of tonight's match, a win could take Charlotte top of the group alongside Greenville, but they need Greenville to lose. Right now they are doing so to Lexington, so it's going their way there, but they'll need to pick up the win. Oberton. Onto his right. He got an assist from that area in the first half. Nga. Down by Obregon Jr. Can't evade Billhard. Skips by one. Still he goes on, trying to take on the whole team himself, and he's eventually brought down. A one-man show as Obregon Jr. is issued out a yellow. He takes this from almost the edge of his own box, shrugs off one, skips by Obregon Jr. again, and then right at the last, I think that yellow card is a accumulation of multiple challenges in that whole sequence. Set pieces have factored very little tonight. Only 2 corners total. Fouls have been few and far between. We saw this attacking set piece right at the end of the first half for Charlotte, which went up and over. Continuing with what's at stake, if Richmond can win, that will move them above Charlotte. Those of you wondering, well, how does the penalty kick shootout work? Basically, it's like hockey for those of you who watch. It would be a point each, normally for a draw, and then 1 extra point is awarded to the team who wins the penalty shootout. So 2 points is better than 1, but if you're any good at math, not as good at 3. Vaughn exchanging some handbags with Spielman. I think it does show you just how much Richmond want to go out and get this win. The double substitution at halftime. Here's one of them, Schinfeld. The referee is going to give for offside. I think the claim there is that Johnson would have otherwise gotten to the ball. Maybe that was what slowed him down quite clearly. He deflected off the last man as Darian Sawati is going to receive a yellow card. It's so tough when referees allow the play on when it's offside because, you know, Bill Hart is quite clearly trying to let the ball roll out. Didn't touch it. Let's take a look here. So you can see here, goes off Dimmick. Referee says that Bill Hart is offside. And I think the argument here is, oh, well, Johnson perhaps could have ran to it and kept it in play. But because Bill Hart was there, I don't think Johnson was going to get there. So I think I do have to disagree. Richmond on the road. Pretty decent this season. 3-1-2. Those 3 away wins equals the amount they had all of last season. Here goes Terzaghi. Poking it through. Pineda. Off Spielman. Fitch to the end line. Now Barnathan. Three wins on the road this season. We're not even at the halfway point. 3 wins all of last year. They had no wins in the final 16 games of the 2023 season. Bill Hart calling for it, cut out by Spielman. Foul given. The intensity of this match has just taken up a few notches recently. Not something that you're surprised to see between two teams that have met now 20 times since 2015. Last time Richmond won against Charlotte was June of 2022. They won back-to-back games for the only time in this series. Before that, their last win, 2015. Just has been one of those teams they have not had fortune against. And this especially a place so. Only ever winning once here. It's now their 10th time playing at this field. Nga trying to return it for Overton. Reach the 1 hour mark. Alvarez always rising over. Quiet night for Luis Alvarez. Here's a look at this strike from him. And he said, well, everybody else is being given time and space outside the box. I might as well try one. His was from the furthest of any of the attempts tonight. Such a good run of form recently. His influence tonight has been limited. Not to say that he's not still pulling the strings between the lines, but offering that dangerous attacking option, he has not. Blast off Pineda. Says Paige Bell. Line referee on the far side. It's James Vaughn. It's a final warning from Olvine Olivia. Head referee tonight. Challenge in from behind that wins the ball. It's getting real chippy here in the Queen City. Trying to go over the top. Does so. Obregon Jr. called for the foul. Griffin Garnett there, counting his lucky stars. The 17-year-old fouled from behind on the edge of the box. Let's take a look. You can see there maybe a little clip on the ankle, a little arm in the back. And it looks like their Garnett's feet go into one another. The question is, did Obregon's leg cause that? Quite clearly, it's one of Garnett's legs going into one of his other. But it could very well be that the contact was caused by Obregon Jr. That's a very important call. Towering header by Nga. The rhythm of this game has just completely gone out the window. It's been foul, whistle, talking to, as the referee will send the players over for a substitution. Vaughn, after getting a talking to, will come off for Justin Suko. Suko, the Texan, made 5 straight starts from April to June.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention please. The referee, substitution for Richmond Kickers.
Second team in League One, spent some time with forward Madison, put in a real shift last year, 30 appearances for the Kickers.
He replaces number 17, James Vaughn, in the 64th minute.
This will be a foul as well, and Nga is going to receive a yellow card. Things really broken down here. It doesn't really seem to be benefiting either team.
Blue Cross Blue Shield of North Carolina yellow card in the 64th minute to Charlotte Independence number 2, Fabrice Nga.
Nga's first yellow of the season. Cameroonian international. Over the top for Oberton Jr. Obregon Jr. going up. Tipped over. Oberton just trying to just it into the path of Obregon Jr. This is so tough going away from goal, having to strike it across his body in Pablo Jara. A beautiful save. It's the first time we've really had to say his name. And this will be our first Chick-fil-A corner kick of the second half. Their second overall, Charlotte. Nga will take. A left-footed in-swinger by the Cameroonian. Had the game-winning assist against Spokane earlier in the season. Punched by Jara. They'll reload with the throw. Big stop by Pablo Jara, the 35-year-old. He's been going back and forth. Now joining Richmond after spending some time with Tormenta. Another guy who grew up playing in this North Carolina area at Wingate University. Not far away from where this game takes place tonight. Foul by Nga. Has to be careful. Still no substitutions made by Charlotte. Nga goes down. The referee will stop play and possibly bring on the physios. he's receiving that attention. Let's take a look at the team of the 4th round of the USL Jägermeister Cup. Liam McKinnon, the main man. You can see a lot of heavily featuring Northern Colorado. Billy King and Bruno Rendon continuing their form from last season. Of course, the highest scoring team in the competition at the moment. Austin Pack, as he so very often does, making a big name for himself in goal. Central Valley Fuego, who play later on tonight. Robert Coronado. And then a man who has been so consistent to one of the newest teams in the league, Jalen Chrysler, is joining Knoxville, who have really made their name on their defensive acumen. He makes it into the USL Jägermeister team of the round in round 4. And Rick Wright, coach of the round for Greenville Triumph. That makes you wonder who is going to make it in for round 5. I think there's a couple of really good bets to be placed on Oberton and Nil Vignal. Certainly one of them will get in. And perhaps there's a game changer we have yet to meet, yet to be introduced to tonight, who will slap their name on that team sheet. Vignals with 2 goals in the first half, both times tying the game up. Overton with a goal to get us underway, and then an assist to Joel Johnson. Not much attackingly for either side here in the second half. Obregon Jr.'s shot just moments ago, the closest either team have come. Kept in play by Pineda. Down line. Fitch now. Stands in across. Terzaghi just doesn't catch it right. It was at a really difficult angle for him. Let's see. A really good cross. You can see it's just behind Terzaghi, and he would have had to score the incredible there. You can see what he was trying to do, just to use the inside of his right boot. Gianfranco Zola is the first player that comes to mind when I think of a goal like that. A flick on at the near post. Those are so hard to execute. Battered from behind. Nathan Ani will earn himself a yellow card. The cards are flying here, just going up high on Obregon Jr. A bit of a mismatch there for height, but clearly a yellow. Ani, who's working his way back into the team after experiencing an injury. The second most minutes on the team last year, led the team in clearances. Now into the 70th minute. Clay Dimmick. And a Charlotte team still yet to make a substitution. Alvarez. Now Dimmick. Belmar. Schinfeld at his back. Oberton chesting it into the path of Inga. Oberton flicking it along. Inga! Claiming that there was a deflection on the way. The referee doesn't agree. Great flick on, you can see here. Brought to you by AccuVision LASIK, and they're claiming that it was just taken off of him there at the last. Whether Nga kicked it into the legs of the sliding defender, or whether the sliding defender touched it last themselves. Either way, they do not see eye to eye as Alvarez is down. And this is going to be a nightmare sight for the Charlotte Independents. They have been plagued by injury. Mike Jeffries, every time I've spoken to him this season, has just harped on that, how difficult it can be to get a run going when so many of their guys are bouncing in and out of health and fitness. And once they get back from their fitness, break. They have to get back up to speed. I mean, it's not like a guy's healthy and he gets right back up to 100%. As that will take us to the hydration break here in the first half. Alvarez back up to his feet. And it looks like he will be able to continue, which is a huge positive sign for the Charlotte Independents. While we are waiting for the hydration break, let's go over and take a look at the goals and saves of round 4.
Here's Prentice. Drives one across. Prentice ball. Oh, it's volleyed in! Galindres! Wow! Juan Galindres! Unbelievable! And the former Red Wolf, who is Chattanooga's all-time leading goal scorer, buries an absolute stunner for forward Madison. Back over to Prentice. Prentice somehow stays on it. Here is Wolfgang Prentice. He'll slap one central. Galindres turned away. The follow. Another save. TJ Bush. A brick wall for Chattanooga.
These will be our first substitutions of the evening for Charlotte. Substitutions brought to you by Atlas Chiropractic. Tresor Mbuyu and Miguel Ibarra will come on, and these are two real difference makers. Gabriel Auberton's night will end. A goal and an assist for the Frenchman. He can hold his head high after that performance. And Tresor Mbuyu will replace Carlton Belmar, who had a goal the last time he played here at home, but was not able to produce much out on the wing. Mbuyu, who was fantastic last season, 9 goals in 36 appearances, including a game-tying goal against Richmond. 85th minute, he could very well do that again. Getting a late one to try and seal this. Vignoles. Now for Pineda on the left. He is offside. If you're traveling to Charlotte to see an Independence game, make sure you stay at the Canopy by Hilton. It's located in Charlotte's upscale South Park neighborhood. There's around countless dining options. Canopy by Hilton, the official hotel of the Charlotte Independents. Looking in for Ibarra. The back heel to Mbuyu. Driven in. Pineda clear to safety. Alvarez still playing very deep. Well, these two teams do like to get points from losing positions. Charlotte is tied most in League One for most points gained. Obregon Jr. scooping it across. Mbuyu takes one on his left. It's well wide and hide. Does the right thing here, Obregon Jr. And then Mbuyu, the way the bounce comes to him, he decides just to take it first time. And Ga was screaming for it on the edge of the box. The Charlotte are tied for the most points gained in League One from losing positions on 6. That's just one more than Richmond. So these are two teams that do very often go out and grab late results. Funnily enough, though, they are both teams that do happen to drop points from winning positions. Third most of any team in League One for Charlotte on 5. Richmond, 4 points dropped. So Clay Dimmick with the throw. Obregon Jr. Joel Johnson takes it off the head of Ibarra. Away by Billhart. And this is the time that is so dangerous for both of these teams. For Charlotte, 5 goals allowed in League One games in the final 15 minutes. That's 38% of all the goals they've conceded in the last 15 minutes. It doesn't get much better for Richmond. In the Cup, they have only allowed goals in the final 15 minutes coming into this one of halves. They had 4 goals allowed coming into tonight, 2 allowed in the final 15 minutes of the first half and 2 allowed in the final 15 minutes of the second half. So this is a period that has been ripe for goals, but so very often these have been the teams conceding them. Just a reminder for all of you at home, this is a USL Jägermeister Cup match, meaning if this game ends tied 2-2, we go to penalty kicks. Tonight, we'll have a winner. 1 point to each team and a bonus point to the winner of the shootout. Joel Johnson chases down Maxi Schinfeld. Kept in play by Dimmick. JJ. Last off of Pineda. And he'll make his substitution. Joao Gamero. The guy making his way back in, as that will be the end of the night for Tony Pineda. His second pro start. Joao Gamero, only 13 minutes against Northern Colorado, but that was his first appearance since early on in May. So he is starting to make his way back into the first team. A guy who also played nearby at Coker in South Carolina and spent time with the North Carolina Fusion in the Triad region, not to be confused with the Triangle. Triad's up around Greensboro and Winston-Salem. Played with the Fusion that went to a national semi-final. Captained the team that went 11-2-1 back in 2022. He's a real creative midfielder from Brazil. Was third on the team last year in goals, assists, and chances created. So perhaps he can be the key to unlocking this defense. And you also have to wonder at some point, does one of these teams decide to shut up shop and try and go for that extra point on penalties? It's a duel I want to see with these goalkeepers. Terzaghi. Offside flag is down. Suko chested on. Vinyals. Now Schinfeld. This game is so balanced at this point. You don't feel either team has a full grip on the proceedings. Anyone could find that winning goal. Vinyals was immediately looking for Terzaghi. Off the backside of Gamero. Here comes the Brazilian. Blocked by Alvarez. Just backing off from that back four, dropping off. Johnson, the most recent goal scorer for Charlotte. Into the final 10 minutes plus stoppage time for American Legion Memorial. 4 goals in the first half. So far, none in the second. Charlotte trying to win at home against Richmond for the first time since 2018. And Richmond trying to win on the road against Charlotte for just the second time in 10 meetings in Charlotte. Ibarra. Obregon Jr. tries to drop one in for Dimmick, but it's just a yard too heavy. Pablo Jara was a hero here in the second half, stopping Obregon Jr. Man down for Richmond. Barnathan down on the turf. He missed 5 games last season with injury. He's made 13 starts this time around as Chandler O'Dwyer readies up. We'll see whether it is for Barnathan. Wouldn't be a straight swap, but it looks like it will be. Schinfeld has been playing more as that left wing back with Barnathan more in the middle. So we'll see if O'Dwyer is going to kind of hold up that space. 24-year-old Englishman. Made 11 starts coming into this one. As well as scoring some very important goals. 2 goals and a game winner against the Fuego of Central Valley, as well as a game-winning goal against Knoxville. So Barnathan, great to see able, under his own fruition, to make his way off the field. He'll be replaced by Chandler O'Dwyer.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this chiropractic and wellness substitution for Richmond in the 84th minute. Leaving the pitch, number 2, Dak Barnathan. He's replaced by number 27, Chandler O'Dwyer in the 84th.
Vignoles now. Terzaghi in the middle. Cuts inside. Big switch to the far end. He slowed him down just enough to get numbers back. Vignoles. Billhart. Maxi Schinfeld. Shuffling left to right, right to left. Going over the top, taken off of Suko. Can't keep it in play. Just the second Chick-fil-A corner kick of the evening for Richmond. Now Neil Vignoles. 2 goals to his name already. Can he drop in a dime and provide the game-winning assist? Vignoles. Taken away by Nga. Ibarra. Trying to flip it to Alvarez on the far side. Schinfeld to it first. Final 5 minutes plus stoppage time remaining. Suko. Dishes it out. Billhart, quick 1-2. Fitch, easily away by Sis. Richmond is starting to tighten the screw here. JJ. Johnson heads it forward. Too much on it. Joel Johnson exits play through a thorough shift. A beautiful assist from Oberton. And a great run here. Watch him come out the right side of your screen. Just ghosts in. Perfectly timed. Nodding it ahead. And at this point, Charlotte went 2-1 up. So well executed. And a great performance tonight from Joel Johnson. His night will end. Isaac Shear will replace him. Shalom Duty, another to come in. And Clay Obara. A triple substitution here. So they're losing Alvarez and Johnson. This is starting to get to the point where you have to think about penalties if you're making these substitutions, which are brought to you by Atlas Chiropractic. Fabrice Nga walking gingerly to the sideline.
Number 14, Luis Alvarez. And number 8, Joel Johnson. They're replaced by number 5.
It's your experience, it's your schedule. Our 2024 mini plans are available for purchase, keeping Charlotte Independent Soccer accessible and affordable. Visit charlotteindependence.com for more details. Took that lengthy stoppage. We'll get back underway with Pablo Jara's goal kick. Jara fouls. The referee is actually going to say it was a handball, I believe, by Fitch. He wasn't too convincing with his hand signals there. He had everyone convinced that that was going to be a free kick for Richmond. Ibarra takes it backwards. Is there one more opportunity in this one before we go to penalties? Shear. Sis. JJ. Shear over the top looking for Obara. Did manage to get a foot to it. He's saying there was a deflection. And the linesman, Andrew Paulin, on this near side, showing no sympathy. Final few seconds of regulation.
Ladies and gentlemen, the fourth official has indicated a minimum of 7 minutes of stoppage time.
7 minutes of Novant Health stoppage time.
And Blue Shield of North Carolina, 7 minutes.
Vignoles brought down from behind by Dimmick. A yellow out for the captain.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention please. The referees.
He was bearing down on goal. Just sweeps him from behind. One of those professional fouls. Probably the right thing to do in the form that Vignoles is in. The only reason he escapes the red there is because there were recovering defenders. We'll see just how good of an idea it was after this free kick comes in. Will it be anyone else but Vignoles? You have the left foot of Schinfeld. Here now in stoppage time. It's perfectly poised for the Spaniard. The game knotted at 2. Referee getting persnickety with the ball placement. Moves it a total of 6 inches to the left. And now Neil Vignoles. The game poised for him, the Spaniard, to prevent penalties. The captain sitting on a hat trick. Vignoles steps up and loops it over. It's an ironic cheer out of the Mecklenburg reserves. And as much as he's done today, he could not do this. It is a difficult formula to assemble of loop, curl, and dip. And he managed to get 2 of those, but couldn't add it all up to a game-winning goal. Aquafina is the official water of the Charlotte Independents. When the game heats up, cool down with Aquafina. O'Bara. Obregon Jr. just wide. Wasn't that the last moment of regulation? The last big chance. Let's take a look. Ibarra toe poking it. And a pile driver from the edge of the box. You can see him here, late run into the box, nobody there. It was on a platter for him. Pablo Jara flapped at it, but it was wide. O'Bara. Imbuyu. Now it's Charlotte's turn. They're trying to hold off Richmond. We're hearing that there's going to be an extra minute added on to the end of added time. And stoppage earlier as Imbuyu is brought down. So we're going to go on into the 8th. Is Clay O'Bara and Miguel Ibarra. And it's Isaac Shear. So Miguel Ibarra, a Minnesota United legend, the journeyman. He's playing all up and down the pyramid of American soccer. Miguel Ibarra, a legend in his own right. Scoops one into the night sky. Sis. Ibarra. His press forcing them backwards. Kept in play by Imbuyu. Shear on his left. Just trying to control the pace of this one. It's gotten away from them at points in this second half, especially late on. Spielman. Imbuyu plucks it down beautifully. Doesn't have the support run though. Ushered back to pack. All signs pointing to penalties. We're now into the final minute of the original 7, but they've been informed they are going to add another one on. We had that opportunity, free kick that slowed us down a bit. Imbuyu. Obregon Jr., is he going to keep it in play? He will. Offside flag is down. Dimmick now. Obregon Jr. slips on the turf. Goes again. Can only roll it into the box. And Gamero chips it to safety. You want to talk about being springy. Obregon Jr. bounced off of the turf. Not the most flattering whenever you go onto your backside, stepping on the ball like that, but he got right back up. Bill Hart. Reminder, folks, do not turn off your TV sets when this game ends. If it is 2-2, as it looks as though it will be, we will go to penalty kicks. Schinfeld. Suko eyes it. The referee blows for a handball. So we were told there would be an extra minute added on to the end of stoppage time. We've got about 15 seconds of it left. An explosive 4 goals in the first half. It was a back and forth affair. The big names lit it up in the first 45. The second 45 has been a grind, a back and forth affair of two teams desperately trying to hold on and clinch some desperately needed points. But in the end, the 90 will not be enough. And so therefore, we will have to go to penalty kicks. 2-2 your final score, but guess what? There's more. Neil Vignals and the Richmond Kickers will face off against Mike Jeffries' Charlotte Independence. Well, it has been a roller coaster all night long. Let's take a look at exactly how we got to this point, featuring our full-time highlights brought to you by Novant Health. So here's a look at what went on in the 90. And got underway early with the Frenchman Oberton. One-time layoff here, firing it with his left. Just an immaculate finish from a man who has scored on multiple continents for many, many teams. Just rifling this one from the edge of the box, and this is a recurrent theme. 21st minute, no team led by more than one. All thanks to Neil Vignals. Gets the layoff from Bill Hart, and a couple of awkward bounces here. 1 and 2, evades pack. Watch it here on the close-up. Gets the feed, takes just a few touches here, and fires it away. There's one bounce, and there's the other. That evades pack. He'll want that one back. 36th minute, the Independents will right back into the league, and this man was at the heart of it. Going one way and then the other, releasing it quickly on his right, and rising up Joel Johnson to make it 2-1. Beautiful header. Just cleanly into the back of the net. At that point, it looked like they might make it into the half with the lead, but it would be not so. Fitch into Vignals, and just too much space here. Full credit to the Spaniard, who lays it perfectly into that bottom corner. Gets all the geometry right, but in the end should not have been given that much time and space. 4 goals in the first half. None in the second. That's how we end the end of 90. Here's a look at the stat sheet presented by Novant Health. Possession 1 back by Charlotte. Richmond had it in the first half after trailing twice. Set pieces just really not a lot. 2 corners apiece. Shots 9-9. This is much more parity than we saw the last time these two teams met at the beginning of the month, when Richmond outshot Charlotte 15-4. So yellow cards 3 apiece. Lots of them in the second half. Things got really chippy. That broke up the pace of play and made things quite a lot different than what we saw in that explosive first half. Well, folks, this is a game that has many complexities, but things become deadly simple when we get to penalty kicks. 5 apiece. Whoever scores the most will go home with an extra point. Both teams have secured 1, but there is another on the line. Looks like Charlotte will go taking first. And it'll be Obregon Jr. He'll be the one to take first. There's always the mind games. Do you send your strongest man first? Do you put him in the 4-hole to try and seal things? I think the common wisdom nowadays is put up your best man first, get off to a good start. And so their leading goal scorer, 12 on the year, faces off against Pablo Jara. "12 yards separate them. The first of 5 for Charlotte. Obregon Jr. steps up, easy as you like, into the bottom corner. And a little extra from Pablo Jara. Cool as you like, sends Jara the wrong way. Well taken, low and into the corner. You can see there's a little bit more. So they start off on the right foot, Charlotte. Neil Vinyals will be the answer for Richmond. Did not play in the last match against Charlotte. Oh, how they missed him. That 2 on the board for Richmond is thanks to him. Can he contribute one last time? Vinyals evades Pack. Excellently executed. Gets the lift on it, and he had to. Otherwise, Pack might have been the hero. Wonderfully taken, and we're tied at 1. Well, those were 2 of the ones that were probably the easiest to pick out. Trésor Mbuyu now. He had a dynamite season last year. 9 goals and 4 assists. And an important one against Richmond. A long run up. Mbuyu puts it high and wide. First miss of the evening. Well, he got this one all wrong. Just trying to curl it into that top corner. Jara didn't even have to leave his line. In a voice you do not want to hear if you're a Charlotte Independent supporter. Emiliano Terzaghi to add on, and for Richmond to take the lead for the first time. Terzaghi, just what you would expect from the main man for Richmond. They are glad to have him back, and for this reason, leaves Pack rooted to the spot. Doesn't even bother. And Terzaghi finally finding the back of the net. Miguel Ibarra, 34-year-old for 34-year-old. Ibarra, bottom corner, goes opposite of Jara. Really needed that one, Charlotte. Just watched until the last. Jara with the antics, trying anything to come up with the save. João Gamero now. Austin Pack has faced 4 penalty shootouts this season. He is 3-1. Charlotte need him now to hold on to the lead. Gamero puts it into the roof. An immaculate penalty from the Brazilian. fine margins going into the upper 90. And the first thing he touches is the roof of the net. Pack once again goes the right way, but there's not a keeper in the world that's stopping that one. Cheeky smile on the face of the Brazilian as pressure piles on for Charlotte. Nick Spielman. As easy as you like. Quiets him down. Calms the nerves. He never looked bothered one bit. Ice in his veins. And it was an icy glare he gave for the Richmond bench. Simon Fitch. He has played all but 7 minutes this season. He is synonymous with the Richmond starting 11. What can the Virginian do? Fitch now, the man from Richmond, adds on another. And they are on the precipice. That bottom right corner has been a popular spot for them tonight. Pack has guessed that way a couple of times. Now this is a must-make. Clay O'Bara. If he misses, Charlotte go home with the extra point. O'Bara to hold on for Charlotte. Scoops it in with the Panenka. Nerves of steel in must-make territory. Just scoops it right down the middle. Got it up high as well. Hara has a big bid there to try and save it. And now Richmond. The kickers who have been perfect in penalties. The opportunity to pick up that extra point. Can Pack be the hero, or will Chandler O'Dwyer send him home with the penalty point? Steps up, rifles it home. And Richmond, for the first time in a long time, take the points at Charlotte. They go perfect from 5. And after securing the 1 point through 90, will take an extra one home with them. Still goes down, I believe, as a draw with the extra point. But this has not been a place where they have happy memories. Only once in 10 previously had they been able to come away. And a big point for them. It took a while, 90 and penalties, but finally they get it across the line. The Richmond kickers on PKs take home the extra point. 4-5, your final score presented by Novant Health. We'll have more for you when we return.
Reaching higher, pushing further, achieving remarkable. At Novant Health, we never stop. Because whether it's sports performance at the highest level or the playground level, we're driven to help you excel at what drives you. Not just keeping you healthy for the game, but also healthy for life. Novant Health. Expect remarkable.
Are you ready? Ready for more games you love? Ready for more players? New rivals? Ready for more fans? New friends, and endless celebrations? This is Carolina's new women's pro soccer team, the Carolina Ascent, featuring the world's most exciting players, connected to the global game, uniting the Carolinas. We are the Carolina Ascent, built for the Carolinas.
Well, folks, folks, it's only 8 a.m. and it's going to be another hot one. Today's high is 85 degrees with lows ranging in the upper 50s. Tomorrow's more of the same, plus some light wind coming in from the northeast. Coming up at 8:30, Paul's got an exclusive
Babe,
heartwarming
it's
story
8 a.m.
Fried chicken, better with Pepsi.
Jägermeister is proud to be the presenting sponsor of the inaugural USL Jägermeister Cup. Take a shot at glory and celebrate the magic of this exciting new tournament all year long. Please drink responsibly. Well, in the end, it doesn't go Charlotte's way. 2-2 after 90, and then penalties win it for Richmond. Let's take a look at your full-time highlights in a game that gave us a lot and very early. Got started off in the first half with the Frenchman who's going to feature a lot here. Oberton, ball's behind him. He doesn't care. Gets the layoff, takes it himself on his left, knuckles it past Pablo Hara. You're going to see more of him. That is your play of the match, presented by Novant Health. Great finish from him. 21st minute, though, they came roaring back into it, Richmond. It was this fighting spirit that, in the end, will send them home with the extra point. This shot from outside the 18 takes a couple of funny bounces. Vignals here, 1-2, gets it under the arms of Pack, who appeals, but to no avail. 36th minute, Charlotte were back in front. And the Frenchman was at the heart of it once again. Slicing and dicing down this near wing. Gets off a perfect cross. And a beautiful header from Joel Johnson. Clean as you like, evading Hara. And that restored the lead for Charlotte. They thought they were going into the half with the lead. But in first half stoppage time, a soft goal if we're being honest. Nil Vignals into the bottom corner. You can see here, the players in front of him just split. No one closes him down. And credit to him, though, still a very, very good finish. That's how it ended after 90. Here's a look at your save of the match. Presented by Social Pet, just tipped over. So, very close. Vaughn from way out. Either Fitch hammering one on his right. Just so close, tipping it over. That is how things went during the 90. Aquafina, man of the match. Joel Johnson with the goal to put Richmond up front, presented by Aquafina. In the end, it doesn't go his way, but he can be very proud of the performance that he put in. In the end, it's still a point secured for Charlotte. In a night that saw the Greenville Triumph drop 3. Our eyes now turn toward what lays ahead. Richmond Kickers are back, a very quick turnaround. You can watch that one against Forward Madison on CBS Sports Network on Wednesday, 8 p.m. kickoff. The Charlotte Independents are back next Saturday. Road trip to Colorado to take on the Hailstorm. You can see that one on ESPN+. A lot of great fixtures, 2 on Wednesday, 1 on Friday, and 3 on Saturday. So guess what, folks? The rest of your week, you got it planned. That's your upcoming USL 1 schedule, presented by Novant Health. Well, this has been a great, great fixture. 2 teams with a lot of history. 20th meeting between them, and it took penalties to decide a winner. 2-2 after regulation, and then they go perfect, the Richmond Kickers. Darren Sawatsky's side pick up the bonus point on penalties. For myself, Zach Burley, our incredible crew, we say thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you next time. Good night.